This is Kevin. Welcome to my 5th month of my dividend dashboard. First, I'm going to start with dividend history of just the dividends that are given out per share. One of the important things is to see the growth in the dividends. Right away, ABR, we see we went up 2 cents, which is actually 5% growth, which is great. It's getting about 12%. Amgen's holding steady. AVGO. Notice 2.3% seems quite low, but that's because that stock shot way up. So that's the rate if you were to buy it right now. But I bought it a while ago, so I'm getting a better return than that. Eagle, look at that, $1.80, down to 60 cents, down to 10 cents. Current yield, not even 1%. So I sold that. Let's get rid of that. GNK dropped quite a bit. It's still getting over 4% yield, so I'll wait on that before making a decision to get rid of it. It's still a good yield. GSL is getting good return. JEPI, notice that this return is really low, lowest in over a year, but if you multiply that by 12 months, this is a monthly dividend stock, it's still 8%. So that's really good. I expect it's going to bounce around. This ETF is going to bounce around. So we'll just wait and see on that. MDC is a new holding, and I'll get to that shortly. RF seems good. SCHD, it's showing lower. That's because the first quarter of SCHD is usually lower than the other quarters. So that's not anything to worry about yet. And that's my largest holding. Verizon here is doing good. XLRE didn't start out with the greatest yield to begin with. And we've got it's an REIT, which ABR is an REIT. This is actually an REIT ETF. But I went ahead and got rid of that. I think we can do better with other stuff. Let's get rid of that one. I mentioned that I bought MDC. Let's look at a little bit of analysis here. When I bought it, it's getting about a 4.8% yield. The PE ratio is quite low, and the payout ratio is good. And the dividend growth was about 13%, and it has 9 years of dividends. So, you know, I poured through, I don't know, maybe hundreds of stocks to try and find a pick. And this is what I've chosen, and we'll see how it does. So I mentioned I bought and sold some stocks, so let's go through the details. I sold XLRE, and I bought MDC, sold Eagle, I bought more JEBI, because it's getting a great return, and I bought some more SCHD. SCHD, I've got a huge holding now. And that left us a little bit of cash. Last month I was incorrect in reporting how much cash, but this is leftover cash due to trading. So that's the trades I made. Hopefully I won't be making a whole bunch of trades each month, but I felt some of these were necessary. Now let's look at the dividends for May. GNK, you can see it got quite a bit lower. That had dropped, but it's still getting a fairly good return. JEPI, I mentioned it was a little low for its history. MDC is a new one I just bought. I bought it just in time for the dividend in May. And Verizon is one of my larger holdings, and it's got a pretty good return. Now let's take a look at the next 12 months of dividends estimated. ABR is pretty good because we doubled our stake a couple months ago. JEPI was down a bit, so I expect this to be a little higher than this going forward. SCHD first quarter was a little lower than other quarters. I expect that to be higher. But this is the general outlook for the next year in dividends. Now let's look at the dividend dashboard. As you can see, we're down quite a bit in overall value, but we are more concerned about dividends. The next 12 months, 55.27, which is a bit lower than we reported last month, partly because GNK had dropped its dividend, JEPI had a lower than usual dividend, and SCHD, its first quarter is usually less than the other quarters. And the way the math works, we just, take that quarter, multiply by 4 to get a value. So I expect next month this will be higher. And this is our dividends so far. SCHD is probably going to be bumped up quite a bit after next month. Stock values I'll probably get rid of because I bought and sold so much. It's a crazy chart. Like Eagle is gone and XLRE is gone, and I don't know, it's not a great chart to look at. And here's a little wave of the dividends. The third month is usually a good month. January, February, March, April, May, so we'll see that rise again for June. And that's it for the dividend dashboard. Like and subscribe. I hope this is interesting.